This is the unpacking video for the Janome HD-1000. This video is being brought to you by the Gidget One affordable sewing and quilting table. This table fits the HD-1000 perfectly and is available at freemotionquilt.com. Hey, my name is Leah Day, and this is my first video review of an under $500 machine. Basically, this new series is all about finding machines that are inexpensive that are really good at piecing and free motion quilting. And the biggest thing I want you to keep in mind is that most of these machines are not going to be great at piecing or free motion quilting straight out of the box. You might have to make some modifications. You might have to buy some generic feet. You might have to just kind of change things up a little bit in order to get the machine to stitch well. But you're going to save money ultimately by buying an inexpensive machine that can do amazing things, if only you just spend a little bit of time on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is share an unpacking video with you of how this machine looks straight out of the box and kind of what it came with and what that was like. So here's that video first. Alright, so I'm going to open up my box and let's see what we got. We got some, mostly this is receipts, and this looks like this is the cover to the Janome case. Now, of course, we've got our instruction manual, and I think there's a warranty card in here. So that's going to show you everything about the machine. You want to make sure that you hold on to all of your instruction manuals for every machine you ever buy. They're really important. So pick one area of your sewing room, maybe a bookcase in your sewing room, and always put your instruction manuals in the same place. Okay, so I'm going to set this stuff aside. And then, let's see, this is two different pieces, so I'm just going to kind of gently lift this out if I can. Sometimes it helps to like grab it with your feet and then lift it out. Alright. Okay, so we've got our pack of tools. There's some things on the side here that are kind of coming out a little bit. I'm going to separate the two pieces of styrofoam here, and I think everything will start coming out. Here's our foot pedal and our power cord with some instructions there. And then it looks like we've got about 4 bobbins. We've got a, looks like a rolled hem foot, standard sewing foot. I think that's probably a zipper foot, and a guide, some needles, screwdriver, seam ripper, smaller screwdriver, some oil, and some little felts. So just your basic kind of standard sewing machine equipment. Okay, I'm going to be real careful here. I'll reach one hand in and hold the machine up while I take off one side. Now this side's kind of tricky because I've got my spool pens here, so I kind of want to be careful to kind of lift it up and around. Okay. There we go. And then there's the machine. She's pretty. And so this is the Janome HD-1000 straight out of the box. And I can say straight off the bat, my initial impression is this is a very solid machine. The body is all metal, and it's not super heavy for being a metal machine. It was actually quite lightweight. And I really like how sturdy the knobs feel, and they make kind of an audible click. You can hear that whenever you turn them. I really like that. It doesn't wiggle, it doesn't wobble, it doesn't feel like it's going to fall off the machine, and it doesn't feel like it's going to change stitches by itself. Sometimes the knobs just feel a little cheap on some machines, but these feel really solid. You use this knob to change your stitches right here, and I really like that feature. This reminds me actually a lot of my one of my first machines was a Bernina Record 830, the really old Berninas, and this machine actually reminds me a lot of that. You change your stitch length down here and you can feel a little bit of resistance, and it clicks whenever you hit each number. I like that because, you know, if you're not looking at what you're doing, like let's say you're really focusing and you need to change your stitch length down, you can do it and you don't have to look at it because you know you're just going to turn it till it clicks. And that's really nice, especially if you're satin stitching something and you want it to make a nice variation, then that stitch length is going to be really good. There's your reverse button right there, and your tension. You've got it right here. And they've marked where tension is usually between 3 and 5, so that's really nice and easy. Below, we've got a needle threader. Many machines are coming with needle threaders these days, and this one works quite well. I'll be demoing that in the next video. And then, of course, your feet, and your feet connection is always important. The Janome HD-1000 is compatible with Low Shank Feet, and that's important because if you want to get a free machine quilting foot or a piecing foot that fits this machine and you don't have a Janome dealership close by, you can get generic feet that are compatible with this machine. The foot that came with it is very sturdy, and you can see this whole mechanism is very stable. I'm kind of pulling on it right here, and it's not budging. It's not going anywhere, and that's really important. You want to always make sure your machine, your needle is going straight down and straight back up, and the same thing for your foot, that it is stable and sturdy and solidly right there, and that's how this feels. It feels solid, and I really, really like that about this foot. To change the feet, all you do is you simply hit this back bar and that pops the foot off, and then you can change it out. The machine came with 4 different feet that do a couple different things. It looks like you've got it's probably a zigzag foot, that's a zipper foot, and a rolled hem foot. So 4 different feet and a guide, 2 screwdrivers, and seam ripper, and some oil and some needles. All came with this machine, as well as your manual. I really think that buying a new machine is really worth it simply for having the manual. Sometimes if you buy something used, you don't get the manual, you don't get the feet that are compatible with it, or you don't get bobbins. And it's essential to have a manual so that way you know how to work the machine, how to operate it, just the very basics. Such as this machine, you needed it to loosen this inner part of your wheel in order to wind your bobbin. You know, I wouldn't have known that if I didn't have the manual to look at and know beforehand. So that's kind of this basic walkthrough video of the Janome HD-1000. My initial impression is I really like this machine. It reminds me of the Bernina 830, but for let's just say about a half to a third of the cost. Very, very solid craftsmanship, very solid little machine, but lightweight, and I can't wait to get started piecing and free motion quilting on it. Don't miss the next part of this under $500 machine review. Check it out at freemotionquilt.com or daystyledesigns.com.